Hey guys, this is Benny Ricciardi with rotocurve.com, and I'm here with our DraftKings defense picks for week 11. There's a couple teams at home that are in really good spots this week, and those are the defenses that we're going to be focusing on. So let's take a look at some of the options this week that you guys could use. Let me call up the PowerPoint here and we can get started. There are 4 defenses this week that we think are in good spots. The first one is the Carolina Panthers at 3,400. Followed by the Philadelphia Eagles, who are 3,100, the New England Patriots at 3,200, and the Atlanta Falcons at 3,400. Carolina is the first defense we're going to talk about here. They're favored by 7 points and at home. They face a Washington defense that has basically struggled to score against everybody but the Saints last week, and the comeback that they had in the second half the week before. Kirk Cousins at quarterback is an interception-prone quarterback, so if Carolina can get a little bit of a lead, there's a good chance that they will be able to get some turnovers. They have 26 sacks and 20 takeaways already in their first 9 games and are averaging 9.7 fantasy points per game. They've only allowed the opponents to score about 19 points per game so far this season as well, so they should get you a few points for the points bonus. They also should be able to pick up a couple sacks, get you some points there. And they could have a good chance at getting some takeaways and maybe turning it into a touchdown or so if they do get a lead and are able to force Washington into being one-dimensional, which is the way that both Vegas and I kind of foresee this game going. The next defense that we want to talk about is the Philadelphia Eagles at 3,100. They're also favored by 7 and at home. They go up against Tampa Bay, and Winston, although he has been better, has still been making some poor decisions with the football and leaving some balls out there that could get picked off. This Philly team is averaging over 2.5 sacks and over 2 turnovers per game, which is giving them more than 10 fantasy points per game so far. They should have a lead and they should be able to go after the quarterback, and that's going to be bad news for Tampa Bay if they're forced Winston into throwing the ball 40 or 50 times. They should have a lot of opportunities to rack up some fantasy points. The next defense we want to talk about is the New England Patriots. They also are favored and at home. They're facing a struggling Bills offense that has a wide receiver crew that's pretty banged up. You have Percy Harvin, who's out for the year. Sammy Watkins actually is doing okay, but he's been in and out of the lineup with injuries as well. And the thing I like about this New England Patriots defense, I know they're not the best defense on paper, but the Tom Brady effect puts this defense in good spots. And what I mean by the Tom Brady effect is this is an offense that puts up a lot of points. When they have a big lead, it forces the other team to have to abandon the run and throw the ball to try to keep up. When they do that and put themselves in that situation, it makes them one-dimensional. Whenever a team makes themselves one-dimensional, they're a lot easier to defend because you can basically just put your pass rushers in, have them go after the quarterback, and then have everybody else drop back into combination of man or zone coverage and try to get a turnover. When you already have the lead and you're playing from ahead, it's okay if you give up yards here and there as long as you can get some big plays. This Patriots defense has 30 sacks already in 9 games, so they're forcing people into 2nd and 3rd and long when they're able to get in those situations and go after the quarterback, and that is how they've been able to force the 13 turnovers that they forced already this year. I think they're in a really good spot here against a Bills offense that I don't think is going to keep up with them as well in New England as they did in Buffalo, and this could turn into a laugher for this Patriots team. The last defense I want to talk about is one that is not a defense that you're always going to use, but I think they're in a very good spot today and could be somebody that you'd have to consider. Now, the Falcons are expensive this week. They cost just the same amount of money as the Carolina Panthers do, which I think is going to help keep their ownership down. They are favored and they are at home, which is what we like out of our defenses. And remember, Andrew Luck is going to be out this week for Indianapolis. That means they're going to be going up against Matt Hasselbeck. The game script in this game leans towards them getting a lead early and running the football. So Indy is going to be one-dimensional and have to pass if that is the way that it's been. The Atlanta Falcons play much better at home as they're averaging just shy of 10 fantasy points per game. And for 3,400 in this spot, I think you could be getting a defense that has a lot of upside today. So that pretty much sums it up for some of the defenses that we're looking at this week. Obviously, we're going to see how things play out for the rest of the week before we make our final decisions on which defenses to use. The ownership rates will be important, so make sure to come and check back on Friday as we post the ownership rates from Thursday night. This way we can see if we can get some of these defenses in good spots at low ownership, which would make them some of the top plays on the week. So this has been our defense video for Week 11 at DraftKings. Thank you guys for joining us. And as always, stay classy, DFS.